Kemba on to Boston while Jimmy heads to South Beach. All the moves being made and the free agents left on the market, and a smashing success. Yankees Red Sox delivering baseball's London debut. SportsCenter now.
They can't get somebody to come to Madison Square Garden. This can't happen. But it happened.
What up, family? Thanks for kicking with us for another edition of SportsCenter. That's John Buccigross. I'm Michael Lees. A bit later, a story of perseverance and persistence that earns one PGA Tour player a trip to Augusta. But we start with the latest reshaping of the NBA. Yo, Brooklyn, what up?
Load the car and write the note. Brooklyn wins day one of NBA free agency by landing Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. What a day. From sea to shining sea, Kevin Durant's NBA career has spanned Seattle, Oklahoma City, Oakland, and now Brooklyn. Again, assuming he won't play this season, Durant would make his debut in the fall of 2020 as a 32-year-old. He gets 4 years, $164 million. He leads Golden State with 2 rings in his 3 years and 2 finals MVPs. And of course, leaves the Knicks with nothing in the wake of missing out. Knicks president Steve Mills released this statement tonight saying, while we understand that some Knicks fans, Stephen A. Smith, could be disappointed with tonight's news, we continue to be upbeat and confident in our plans to rebuild the Knicks to compete for championships in the future through the draft, targeted free agents, and continuing to build around our core of young players.
NBA front office insider Bobby Marks joins us now here on SportsCenter. All right, Bobby, now that the Nets have come to agreements with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan, it sounds great. How do they make the money work, though?
Well, there's going to be some work to do right now because right now they're at $68.8 million with a Kyrie Irving and a Kevin Durant contract. That is $70 million. And remember, they also came to an agreement with DeAndre Jordan and Garrett Temple. Garrett Temple to the $4.8 million room exception. DeAndre Jordan is not coming on the minimum.
Okay.
So we've got to find out some room here. And this is what they can do. We're going to put the Kyrie Irving number at $28 million right now.
Okay.
And that is lower than the max.
Right, because it's 32.7.
Right, and what Brooklyn can do is they can put 4.7 of unlikely bonuses, but potentially to reach, maybe reaching the second round, winning 45 games in there, that Irving can potentially get to. And when we slide in his number there, now that's down to 41.7.
Right.
So you still have enough room for a player like Kevin Durant. And we're going to do the same thing. Durant's number is 38.2. We're going to lower it down to 32.5. About $5.5 million of unlikely bonuses, the same as Kyrie. Let's go second round, 45 wins. Unlikely, but certainly reachable with this team. When we slide Durant in, that gets you to $10 million.
Okay.
Right? And now we have DeAndre Jordan. When we look at him, $10 million.
It works.
Perfect. It works. And the best part, you don't have to do anything with Spencer Dinwiddie. You don't have to do anything with Joe Harris or Taurean Prince or Karis LeVert, some of your younger players here. And you also have that $4.8 million room exception to go out and get Garrett Temple. You can exceed the cap to bring him in. And Brooklyn can keep this roster together and get Durant healthy for 2020.
And these players right here are the key core of this young talent that you're bringing this 3-player monster into to compete for a championship eventually.
Well, this was the whole selling part for Brooklyn, that you already had a structure in place with LeVert and Prince and Harris. You didn't have, and especially Dinwiddie as coming off the bench. You didn't have to do anything here, and now you just add 2 or 4 pieces into this group right now.
So you have to do it with the money they want, but there's a certain way you give them that money based on some other ways to do it. And that's why we have Bobby Marks here to explain all of this. Appreciate the time, man. All right, so the entire city of New York was so optimistic about what was going to happen during this free agency period. And according to Caesars Sportsbook out in Vegas, the Nets had 25-1 odds to win the 2020 NBA title, while the Knicks weren't far behind to 30-1. All right, so then all of a sudden the news drops about Kyrie and KD going to Brooklyn. And so what happens then? Well, the Nets now sit at 18-1. That's the 4th shortest odds among Eastern Conference teams right now. And the Knicks fall all the way down to 100-1. That would be longer odds. Coming up, more free agency talk, Stephen A's reaction to the net sweep and what's going on with the Knicks as well. But we also have some breaking news here on SportsCenter as well.
Breaking news in the Sports Center. Woj off the phone and on Sports Center. So Sunday night, just before midnight, we learned D'Angelo Russell is going to be a Golden State Warrior. How?
Well, Golden State and Brooklyn are trying to finalize a sign-and-trade agreement that would send D'Angelo Russell to Golden State on a 4-year, $117 million max contract. For that to happen, Golden State's got to clear more salary to make that work. Andre Iguodala is a player who could be on the move here.
Wow, we're not sure yet where he might be going.
No.
Okay, so again, D'Angelo Russell looks like he'll be a Warrior. Let's start, though, first with the Nets. Last in attendance last year in the league in terms of total fans. Now they get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. How did they get this done? Why Brooklyn?
You know, it really a testament to this organization they built in less than 4 years. Sean Marks, Kenny Atkinson, the way they've drafted, developed players, the environment they've created to attract, you know, 2 of the 3 preeminent free agents in this marketplace, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who both, I think if you asked them both a year ago if they wanted to go to New York, it might have been the Knicks. But in every way, Brooklyn earned the right to recruit those players and to sign them. I mean, earlier maybe before the season, I think they might have thought around Brooklyn, if we just got meetings with them, that would be seen as a coup. They got the 2 players.
What's Kawhi Leonard's plan for the rest of the week?
Well, at some point here, he's going to start meeting with teams and getting closer to a decision on free agency. I think the decks have been cleared a little bit among the elite players, and Kawhi is left to try and figure out where he wants to play. Toronto, the Clippers, the Lakers.
And you expect this to be maybe a couple of days? Could it be on Monday?
I am not going to predict his timetable.
Right. So again, Kawhi remains out there. Meanwhile, the 76ers kind of reshaped their roster. Al Horford gave Joel Embiid a tough time as a defender when he played for the Celtics. Now he joins the Sixers, getting to his mid-30s. He probably needs his kind of role. J.J. Redick says goodbye. What about what the Sixers did?
Well, they certainly transformed their roster for the second time in several months.
Yeah.
You know, the Jimmy Butler experiment, it didn't go the way they had hoped it. He gets to go to Miami on a max contract, and they bring in Al Horford, who brings beyond 5-time All-Star, guy who's in the playoffs all 12 years of his career. Tremendous leader, but a very skilled big man, offensively, defensively. He'll play some 4 next to Joel Embiid, and when Embiid's off the court, he can play some center. If Embiid's missing games with injury, you have Al Horford at that 5. But they bring a team that will be as good defensively as any in the NBA potentially.
Right. Now we see if Ben Simmons can grow offensively to really make them a force in the Eastern Conference. So again, it looks like D'Angelo Russell is heading to Golden State, and it looks like Andre Iguodala, what a great warrior he has been for them, literally and figuratively, could be on the move. Adrian Wojnarowski, St. Bonaventure grad, with the very latest.
All right, now to baseball. Yankees-Red Sox finishing up their 2-game set in London. Pretty good showing of attendance these 2 games, and fans, both squads in the building.